Liam, what if we open up a car repair shop together?
I can't just quit my job, man. I'm too old for that now, and I've got a family.
Hey, have you ever caught yourself thinking, I'm too old to start over? Or I'm too old to try that dream I tucked away long ago? Maybe it comes to you in quiet moments, like when you see someone younger taking risks, chasing goals you once had, and you feel something heavy sink in your chest. Maybe you've told yourself that chapter is closed because you missed your chance. But what if I told you that's just a story you've been taught to believe? We live in a world obsessed with youth. Everywhere you look, ads and headlines scream about staying young, looking young, achieving everything before you hit 30. The world makes it seem like if you don't make it early, you're destined to settle for less. And if you're older, you'd better stay in your lane, except that life's biggest adventures are behind you. That message is a lie, because age doesn't close doors, it opens new ones. You carry wisdom now you didn't have when you were younger. You know what matters and what doesn't. You've survived heartbreak, disappointment, and failure, and you're still standing. That resilience is something no 20-year-old can buy or fake. But still, there's that whisper inside you. It's too late. I'm too old. That voice might come from years of hearing others say it, parents, friends, co-workers who settled for safe choices. Or maybe it's your own voice born from the fear of looking foolish, of starting as a beginner when the world expects you to already be an expert. You might have dreams you've buried because they felt out of reach. Learning a new instrument, traveling to places you've only read about, writing a book, changing careers, falling in love again, rebuilding your life after everything fell apart. If you've ever thought I'm too old for that, pause for a moment. Ask yourself who told you that. When did you start believing you had an expiration date on your passions or potential? Because the truth is, as long as you're alive, it's never too late. There's no age limit on trying, learning, or growing. The only real limit is the one you accept. I remember a friend who at 55 decided to learn the piano for the first time. He struggled at first fingers, stiff mind, frustrated. But every day he practiced, and every day he got a little better. At 60, he played his first recital for his family. The look of joy and pride on his face was proof that starting late doesn't mean missing out. It just means you take the scenic route. You might think people will judge you, that they'll laugh or tell you it's pointless. But here's the secret: most people are too caught up in their own worries to pay attention to yours. And the ones who do criticize, they're often the ones who gave up on their own dreams long ago. Imagine if you let go of the idea of being too old and focused instead on what excites you. Imagine waking up knowing you're finally giving yourself permission to explore something you've always wanted. Imagine the rush of curiosity, the spark of possibility, the quiet pride of taking steps forward, no matter how small. Because there's something beautiful about beginning again, especially when you thought you couldn't. There's something powerful about saying, yes, I may be older, but I'm still here, I'm still dreaming, I'm still growing. Have you ever wondered what you'd do if fear wasn't holding you back? What you'd try if you weren't worried about failing or being judged? That fear is sneaky. It doesn't shout, it whispers, quietly telling you that you're too slow, too rusty, too set in your ways, that you missed your moment. It can show up when you stand at the edge of change, like the moment you think about applying for a course, but you close the tab before hitting enroll. Or when you look at your dusty camera or guitar and think, I can't start now. I should have done it years ago. Fear wants you to believe your dreams have an expiration date. But the only way that fear wins is if you stop trying. I know what it's like to feel behind, like everyone else already knows what they're doing while you're just fumbling in the dark. But here's the truth. No one has it all figured out. Everyone is making it up as they go. And the sooner you let yourself be a beginner again, the sooner you'll remember the joy of learning something new. You see, children don't worry about looking silly when they learn. They fall down, get back up, laugh, and keep going. They aren't embarrassed by their mistakes. They know that stumbling is part of the process. But somewhere along the way, we start thinking we should already know everything. We become ashamed of not being perfect on the first try. That shame is what keeps us stuck. So what if you treated yourself like you'd treat a child who's just starting out? What if you offered patience and encouragement instead of criticism? What if you allowed yourself to fumble without calling yourself a failure? Imagine giving yourself permission to start that dance class, to pick up painting again, to write those first awkward sentences of the story you've been carrying in your head for years. You don't have to master it in a day. You don't even have to show it to anyone. You just have to start. One of the most powerful things you can do is take a small step toward the thing that lights you up. Sign up for the class, buy the beginner's guide, set aside 10 minutes a day to practice. Each time you do, you're telling yourself, I believe in my ability to grow. I believe it's not too late for me. And you know what happens when you start. That tightness in your chest starts to loosen. The sadness of missed chances starts to lift. You realize that time didn't take your dream away. It was only waiting for you to claim it again. Don't let society's obsession with youth rob you of the joy of exploring new things. You don't need to be the best, the fastest, or the first. You just need to be willing, because your life isn't over. It's still unfolding. And every day you wake up is another chance to try to play to learn. You're not too old to laugh until you cry. You're not too old to fall in love with a person, a place, or a passion. You're not too old to start over, to choose differently, to surprise yourself. The world needs people who dare to begin again no matter their age. People who show others that there's no shame in starting late. Because when you do, you light a path for everyone who's been quietly wondering if it's too late for them too. And if you stumble, if you find yourself doubting again, remember this: every step you take, even the shaky ones, is proof you're alive, that you care enough to try. That's something to be proud of. Have you noticed how time feels different when you do something that excites you? Hours can slip by like minutes when you're absorbed in something you love. And in those moments, age disappears. There's just you and the joy of being alive. That's why it's never really about how old you are. It's about how willing you are to show up for your own life. You don't need to chase the same dreams you had at 20. Maybe now your dreams have evolved. Maybe you want slower mornings, deeper conversations, or to give your time to things that feel meaningful. Or maybe there's a spark inside you urging you to try something completely new. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to let go of what no longer fits and reach for what excites you today. You don't need anyone's permission to redefine what happiness means for you. And when you start living on your own terms, something shifts. You begin to measure your days, not by what you think you should have done by now, but by how present you were, how connected you felt, how fully you experienced each moment. You realize that life isn't a checklist of milestones, it's a series of moments, and it's never too late to make those moments richer. Sometimes, you'll still hear that voice whispering, "You're too old." When it comes, pause and ask yourself, too old for what? Too old to try, too old to learn, too old to laugh, because as long as you can breathe, you're not too old to grow. Look at all you've survived to get here. The heartbreaks you never thought you'd heal from the obstacles you never thought you'd overcome. You've already proven your resilience 1,000 times over. That same courage can carry you forward now toward the things that call to you. You don't have to rush. You don't have to achieve something impressive to justify your time. You can take small, gentle steps, savoring the process rather than focusing only on the outcome. The beauty of starting later is that you know how to appreciate the journey. And if you think you'll feel embarrassed, remember trying is always more courageous than staying stuck. Regret rarely comes from trying and failing. It comes from never trying at all. So let yourself imagine what your life could look like if you stopped worrying about what others might think. If you stopped counting your years and started counting your moments of aliveness. If you let curiosity guide you instead of fear. Picture yourself leaning into the things you've always wanted to do, taking that road trip, writing your stories, picking up a paintbrush, learning to dance, saying yes to love, or saying no to what drains you. Picture the quiet pride you'd feel lying in bed at night, knowing you showed up for yourself, that you chose courage over comfort. Because the real tragedy isn't growing older. It's letting your spirit wither while your heart still beats. And the miracle isn't in staying young forever. It's in staying open, willing, and alive to possibility no matter your age. Right now, take a slow, deep breath. Let your chest rise and fall. Feel the air fill your lungs. Proof that you are here in this moment, with a chance to choose differently. Whisper to yourself, I am not too old. I am exactly where I need to be to begin. The stories you've heard about what's possible at your age were never meant to define you. You are the author of your own life, and the next chapter can be anything you want it to be.